didn't look like the same team as last year. In your eyes, what were the biggest differences?
One, our start. We hit some shots at the beginning, hit a couple threes, and that is something that we have really concentrated on in our practice and playing the quarters is starting out hitting shots. But, you know, we hit a couple threes, and that helped. It was nice that we were able to shoot them out of the zone. I think one of the biggest differences is our running game. And, you know, Steph did a great job getting down the floor. Alicia does a great job getting down the floor. Deja. So when you have bigs that can run the floor like that, you want to get the ball down as quickly as possible. But it's, yeah, I think what we really concentrated on our running game. I mean, that's been huge. That's big in practice, and it's an emphasis. It's definitely a point of emphasis. So I think, you know, when you can try and get layups as opposed to always setting up your offense, then, you know, you're trying to get as many shots in the paint as you can.
You always want to start fast, but you held them to 4 points in the first quarter. How much of that was the defense that you had out there, and how much was simply they missed some shots?
He's speaking to the mic, too.
I think, I think us hitting some of the shots we did maybe deflated them a little bit. You can kind of see, you know, they didn't maybe have that pep in their step when you hit. I mean, we were playing very good team basketball. I thought we were on point in that first quarter. We shared the ball well. We played an inside-outside game. And, you know, it's funny you say that. How much of it was your defense? Well, in the first quarter, we had 2 fouls. In the second quarter, we had 7 fouls. And that was a point of emphasis at halftime in our talk.
Stephanie, you had 16 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of block shots. Statistically, at least, your best game. Can you sort of describe how much more comfortable you are starting this year as opposed to last year when you came in mid-year?
Yeah, well, coming in from the start of the season and being in with the team from the very beginning has been extremely helpful, as hopefully it's shown. Getting to know the players, like having that lead up, knowing the players has also helped. It's really exciting.
Starting to look more like the player you recruited that you didn't really have the preseason camp with last year?
You know, it's funny. I told everybody that I've talked to about Steph, I've always said, the first thing I've said is I wish we had her from the start last year because she missed all the teaching. And it's not just teaching, but it's basketball in America because it's just different. You know, it's taken Alicia a full year to adjust, and like Alicia's defense is so much different and better than last year. And so, like I said, last year Steph played her first game and didn't know the names of all her teammates. She was only here 2 days. Seriously, I'm not kidding. But she's improved tremendously. You know, she goes in and she works on a lot of things. She works on her shot. She works on her moves, and I think she's going to continue to improve.
Biggest improvement you've made since a year ago?
Well, as a team as well, getting our running game going because I love to run. So that's also with the help of the rebounder and the point guard, just being able to push that ball down, and well, I get easy points then, and it's just a fun game to play.
How does playing in quarters change the way you coach?
Well, today it didn't have to change it much. You know, I think this is the first time I've ever gone through a game and didn't call a timeout. I almost did, a point in the third quarter and a point in the fourth quarter, but with the way the timeouts are in the media timeouts are in the quarters, you don't want to disrupt the flow of the game. That's you know, one thing. The way the game was with 2 halves and all the timeouts, I felt like every time somebody got a flow, there was a timeout. So this was kind of nice. You know, you work on different things, you work on special situations, but in this game in particular, it didn't change my way of coaching at all. The one thing that I've told our coaches and I've told our team, though, is we're trying not to call a timeout in that first quarter so we can kind of save it, because you really don't. You've got 4 timeouts. You know, you got your 330s, your 160, and one doesn't carry over. So I didn't even use my timeout in the first half.
Every year you talk about the newcomers at the start of a year, and you've got 4 or 5, 2 of whom have a little more experience. Mackenzie Adams was here last year practicing with your team. Ashley Gibson was a junior college player, so she comes in with a little more maturity than the freshman. And they both played a lot of minutes tonight. And Ashley gave you 13 points, 3 for 3 on 3-pointers. What do those 2 add to your team?
Well, let's start with Kenzie. No, let's start with the newcomers who played a lot today. And Kenzie is a newcomer, even though she practiced with our team. I thought Kenzie struggled today, but she's going to garner a lot of attention, and she's not going to struggle like that every game. The good thing is she has a shooter's mentality where she tries to shoot her way out of it. Took a couple of quick shots today, but she's going to make shots. I mean, she's going to make people play her. We see her make them every day in practice. So you got to remember, Kenzie hadn't played in a while. It's one thing to play in a scrimmage and play in practice. It's another thing to play the real deal. So I'm sure there were a few nerves today, but I think she'll play much better in the next game. You look at Ashley Gibbs, as we call her, can play inside outside. She can be a 4-player, play on the perimeter. She's a strong player. She's a smart player, but she has a knack for scoring. That's the thing. And I actually put her in the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter when we were just kind of stalled, and maybe it's a little bit before that, but just say, I need a spark. I need somebody to get us going immediately. 4 points, one off an offensive rebound, and the other, I can't remember how she got it, but she just has a knack for scoring. And she can score on the drive, she can score inside, outside. Our other newcomer who played quite a bit today, Deja Thomas. And if you look at her, she's lengthy, she's a heck of a rebounder. She got a little tired there because she played a lot of minutes at first, but I think Deja's really got a great upside.
Deja's the other one I was going to mention. 12 points, 9 rebounds, so
almost a double-double.
You get to go against her in practice a lot.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing Deja adds to this team?
Well, her rebounding skills. I know I have to block her out because otherwise Rhonda's going to get on me for not getting that rebound. So it's good having someone who's always going towards those boards helping me as well get a good block out. So yeah, she'll bring that, and also her scoring. She's also a great runner up and down the ground. So
You start the year with a nice lopsided win, and then 4 days from now, your old friends from TCU come to town. You see them every year. What do you expect when TCU comes to Moody on Wednesday?
Oh, they pressured us a lot last year, and we didn't handle it very well. We were obviously very young. They're a good team. They do a good job. I expect them to come in and pressure us, and no question. But, we're a good team too. We're a much different team than that team that played over in Fort Worth. And in fact, I don't even recognize that team that played in Fort Worth last year. So I think we're a much more mature team than at this point where we are. I think we're further along. It's like I told our players after the game that the team we play Wednesdays is going to be a lot tougher. We're going to have to do a lot better job defensively defending the ball, and it's always a brutal matchup.
You had the fast start in the first quarter, 24-4, and you were up 42-17 at halftime. So, what was it like in the locker room at halftime? When you're not necessarily making the adjustments to get back in the game or to maintain a close lead, you've got a lopsided lead. What kind of adjustments did you all talk about?
We mainly talked about not getting sloppy, not taking quick shots, which we actually took some quick shots, but also concentrating on playing good on-ball defense. I thought at times we got beat, and when you get beat, somebody has to help, somebody has to rotate, then we're out of position. So I wanted to work on our defense. I wanted to work on our execution, continue to run the basketball, and not change our game plan. Don't worry about the score. Continue to try and look sharp. And at times, we did get sloppy, but we played a lot of different combinations today. We played everybody and played maybe some combinations that hadn't played together. So sometimes when that happens, sometimes you do get sloppy.
Thank you very much.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Always.